Good evening and welcome back to the Rory Talks Football channel, your daily Arsenal news updates, debates and my opinions. If you're new to the channel, please do subscribe. We're on the way to 12,800 subscribers. And of course, if you could click the like button, I'd be incredibly grateful. There's plenty of you here. There's plenty to talk about. We had a game last night. It feels like we lost, but actually we won. The fan base is kind of melting down a little bit. There's injury news left, right and centre. And yeah, we're just going to talk it through. But there's loads of you here, which is good to see. Woodsy, VV, Vlad, Saka the Goat, Hyper, Icarus, Pekka, Ethan Udall, Emil, Carter, Lord Ferguson of Aberdeen, Binyam, Saliba, Max Evans, Fraser, Ryan, Lewis. Sportcat is back in the building. Sportcat, it's been a while. Matthew, Hannah, Ross Lawman, Nathan Price, Nid, Manny, and many, many more. It is good to see you all. And yeah, I don't know. What did you think about last night? Because, to be honest, having been at the game, Lynn is new to the channel. Welcome, Lynn. Good to see you here. Yeah, from my perspective, I don't know. Inside the ground, it didn't feel anywhere near as negative as it did online. So you can kind of tell a negative game within the stadium. There will be like moaning every time a pass goes wrong. There will be moaning every time they're on an attack. The other team are on an attack. And I didn't really feel like there was any of that. And yet, yeah, I looked online after the game and it was like it was just the worst performance you've ever seen. And I thought that was, I don't know, I think it's maybe a hangover from the Bournemouth game. So people were already kind of miserable after that, which I get. And maybe that fed into yesterday. Because look, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that yesterday was a good performance. It wasn't. But it was just a get the job done kind of night. We're missing lots of players. We know that we've got Liverpool coming up this weekend. So we don't want to go hell for leather and win, 5-0 yesterday by really busting a gut when we just don't need to do that. And so I felt like it was, it was fairly comfortable. They had one shot on target, which came in the 92nd minute. To be fair, very well done to Raya because it was a good shot and it was a good save. But outside of that, I never felt like we were going to concede. I felt like we probably should have scored more than one. Gabriel Jesus had a great opportunity that he should have scored. Obviously, we missed the penalty. So, yeah, I just found it all a bit, I don't know, just unnecessary. Like, people picking holes in everything and saying that we're going to get battered by Liverpool. The big one was, well, if we play like that against Liverpool, we're going to get battered. And I don't disagree. If we did play like that against Liverpool, we probably would. But we're not going to play like that against Liverpool. When was the last time you saw an Arsenal team turn up in a big game playing like we did against Shakhtar last night? It's not what we do. We know we don't do that. So I'm really not... Look, don't get me wrong. Liverpool is going to be a very, very difficult game when you look at the players that we're likely to be missing for it. But I don't think the players are going to turn up and kind of get the job done performance in against Liverpool. I will actually laugh if we beat Liverpool after this week's meltdown. But it wouldn't surprise me at all if we beat them. It really wouldn't. Why did Havertz not take the... That's probably the thing that annoyed me most. That is probably... I said on Twitter, my only real complaint was that Havertz didn't take the penalty. And people were like, how's that your only complaint? It's like, because I don't really want to complain about any of the other stuff. I don't think it's worth complaining about. Havertz not taking the penalty did piss me off because the penalty should bury the game, right? That at 2-0, game is buried. Maybe at 2-0, you take Calafiori off and then he doesn't pick up an injury. So I was frustrated Havertz didn't take it because Havertz has a better penalty record than Trossard. Trossard, I don't think, has taken a penalty in 3 years or something like that. And Havertz was also on for, this Emirates record. So it was frustrating. And I don't really know why he didn't. He's also our number 9. So I don't know why he didn't take it. And that was the major complaint that I had. If I had a complaint, well, it was the major complaint I had. But Rory, do you think the team tried to lift Trossard after Bournemouth? Maybe, but I don't really care about lifting players, to be honest. I'd rather we just, if it was 4-0 and Havertz had already scored, I wouldn't have minded it so much. That pen miss denied Nwaneri game time. Yeah, true. I think Nwaneri probably would have come on if we'd gone 2-0 up as well. Hindsight, but should we have rested Cala, Big Gabby from the start? Zinny Kivior, maybe. No, not in my opinion, because there's no guarantee that we'd have won the game with Zinny and Kivior instead of Cala and Gabby. So for as long as we are still on to get into the top 8, I think we should keep trying to get into the top 8. We're nearly guaranteed. Someone said we are guaranteed top 24 already at this point. I'm not sure that we are guaranteed top 24 yet. I might be mistaken, but I'm not convinced. I think we need one more point to guarantee top 24. But until we're not capable of getting top 8, I think we should keep pushing for it, because it's a massive, massive benefit to be top 8. If you're top 8, you avoid the 2-leg playoff, which is in February. And if you look at the fixture schedule throughout February, especially if you're in the FA Cup, you're in the Carabao Cup still, you don't want a 2-legged European fixture in February. You really don't want that. And you also get a presumably better next round of 16 tie, because it's seeded. So none of the top 8 can play against each other in the round of 16. So as long as that is available, I really think we should be going for it. I'm risking, Calafiori or Gabby. I just don't think it would have been worth it. Kiwi or Zinni at left back, and we're so cooked. Well, so this is the question, right? We don't know about Timber. So the latest on Timber, this came from Sammy Mockbell today. Medics will make a late call on Jurrien Timber's fitness for the game due to a muscular injury. So we don't know about Timber. It's going to be touch and go whether or not he plays. If he doesn't play, we're looking at Ben White, probably Kivior right centre-back, Gabriel, and then either Zinchenko, or for me, Miles Lewis-Skelly. And I think it was potentially a tell that Miles Lewis-Skelly came on yesterday for Calafiori. Calafiori went off injured. Kivior was on the bench, Zinchenko was on the bench, but Miles Lewis-Skelly was the one that came on. How much do you read into that? Because it wasn't like the game was done. We were 1-0 up. And he trusted Miles Lewis-Skelly to come on in that situation. I don't think... Also, fun fact, we played Girona away 2 days before City at home. City at home, I think, will be moved. We won't play 2 days before Man City. The Man City game will be moved. You never play a Premier League game 2 days after a European game. Don't think Arteta liked the leaked news of Saka. Not sure. How does the knockout work? Is there a draw for 9th place to 24th place? No. So I believe the way it works is that 9th plays 24th. 10th plays 23rd. 11th plays 22nd. Etc., etc. Up until the middle. So there is a benefit to finishing 9th rather than to finishing 24th. If you finish 9th, whoever finishes 24th is probably not going to be a brilliant team, and you would expect to beat them over the course of 2 legs. White going off at halftime is concerning too. Well, Arteta claimed the reason he took Ben White off at halftime is because he was on a yellow and he didn't want to risk us going down to 10 men again. I think there's probably a couple of things there. I think Ben White playing 90 minutes against Bournemouth and then 90 minutes against Shakhtar and then 90 minutes against Liverpool wouldn't be ideal for a guy who's just been out for over a month. So I think there was probably an element of worrying about his fitness involved in that. I'm pretty sure he's not injured, but we'll see. Arteta said White came off because of the yellow. Yeah. But again, Arteta's not going to say if he was injured or not, but I'm pretty sure he wasn't. Now, the leak today, and to be honest, so last night, Mikel Arteta said he was asked about Bukayo Saka. He was asked about Saka and Odegaard. It sounds to all intents like Odegaard's not going to make it. But on Saka, he said he wasn't able to train yet, so it's unlikely that he will play. For me, that's the best sign yet that Saka is going to be available to play. The way that Mikel Arteta has been operating, pretending like he was going to be fine for Bournemouth and then pretending like he was about to be back. The fact that now he's saying, oh, actually, he hasn't trained and he's probably not going to be available, that genuinely gives me faith that he is going to be available. These are the Arteta mind games. And I feel like he's not even that good at them anymore because he literally just, whatever he says, you can assume that the opposite is going to happen. Sam C, who works for the United Stand, but is very, very good when it comes to team news and stuff, he said today, understand that Bukayo Saka is expected to be available for the upcoming match against Liverpool, having trained, pending any last-minute changes or niggles. Meanwhile, Ricardo Calafiori is set to undergo a crucial scan scheduled for today. So I don't know for sure. I know there are Arsenal in the nose that kind of have approached this week with a bit of a siege mentality, that they weren't going to leak any team news, that clearly the club don't want to leak any team news. But then Sam C leaked that today, and then obviously all of the aggregators spread it, so it's already out there now. So, and he's not an Arsenal fan, doesn't care about Arsenal. He works for the United Stand. So, yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting one. We need Saka so badly. I think that like the biggest thing, if you wanted to complain about last night, and it's not even a complaint in my opinion because it's just the reality. The reality is, without Martin Odegaard, who is probably the most creative player at the club, certainly our most creative midfielder, and without Bukayo Saka, who is probably the second most creative player at the club and our most creative attacker, you're in trouble, right? And the lack of creativity is worrying. It is very worrying. And if we don't have him against Liverpool, I don't see us winning the game. Truthfully, if we go into the Liverpool game without Bukayo Saka, I just don't see us winning it. They're solid defensively this season. We're just not creative enough. I think they'll attack us strongly, knowing that we don't have Saka to go back at them, and then they're going to be attacking us with potentially Kivior and Zinchenko, or Kivior and Miles Lewis-Skelly in the back line, which is a concern. Is Odegaard an 8 or a 10? Odegaard is an 8. I had this argument. There were people on TikTok the other day trying to tell me that Martin Odegaard was a 10 because they just see him as a creative midfielder, and most creative midfielders are 10s. You watch Martin Odegaard in an Arsenal team, he is an 8. He's the right-sided 8. The work that he does defensively, he is an 8. Unpopular opinion, and I'm not even trying to sound like no new thing, but Saka is the most creative player at our club, period. I think Martin Odegaard is, personally, but I would take that opinion either way. On the positive side, Martinelli really looks good again. Him and Partey were our best players yesterday. I agree. Partey really impressed me. First half, Partey in midfield really impressed me. He looks fitter. He looks more physical. He's beginning to look faster again. Don't get me wrong, he's never going to be rapid, but you know, at the start of the season, at the end of last season, he looked so slow. So he's beginning to look faster. His reaction speeds are picking up. So, look, I do think this is a case of him really growing into the season and growing back into his body. And I do think when you've been injured so many times in such a short space of time, I think you begin to lose faith in your own body. And I look at Partey, and sometimes I was like, I don't think he's even trying to sprint. I think he is so scared of breaking into a sprint that he's not doing it. And now I feel like he is beginning to do that again. So Partey I was really impressed with. I felt like when he moved to right back, we suffered in midfield. We suffered from his ability on the ball. We suffered from his ability to control the tempo and control possession. So I don't want to see him at right back, on Sunday or whatever. And then Martinelli, who, yeah, again, I think is looks a lot sharper, beginning to look a lot more confident. You know, the goal didn't count as his goal, but cuts in on his right foot, goes at the near post. It's good. They are some of the promising bits. Marino, Partey midfield, Gabriel Rice at centre back. I don't mind it. Do you know what? It's an interesting one. It's an interesting one. If we're without Calafiori, and if we're without Calafiori and we're without Timber, if you were to ask me, would you prefer Kivior at right centre back with Rice, Partey, Merino as two of the three midfielders, but one of them almost as a spare? Or would you prefer Rice at centre back with Partey and Merino in midfield? There is a part of me that would take Rice, especially at right centre back. Bear in mind, especially at right centre back, where Kivior has looked uncomfortable, and I think Big Gabby would look uncomfortable there as well. Yeah, there is a part of me that would probably take that. I probably would. It's an interesting one. I mean, I'm praying that Jerry and Timber is back. I'm praying that Timber is back. I think we need his composure. We need his creativity. We need his physicality. We need him. We need Timber. Calafiori doesn't look good. The chances of that being such a minor injury that he's back for Sunday, I just would be very surprised. So it's tough. It's tough. If Timber is fit, he can play left back against Salah if Rice is at centre back. Yeah, no, but sorry, yes, yeah, a left back, yeah, he could do that, yeah. What actually happened to Timber? Some sort of muscular injury, He got taken off at half time. Remember, against PSG, he got taken off at half time, and it was something muscular. We don't know exactly what, but Timber will be playing on crutches. That man has the right mentality. True. More than Odegaard's creativity, we miss his stamina. No, 100% we do. 100. There is no one currently that can play in our midfield that runs the way that Martin Odegaard does, that will press in the way that Martin Odegaard does. That we don't have anyone that does that. Trossard doesn't do it. Merino couldn't do it. We don't. Do you think you can just shove Timber and Saka right in? Yeah, we've got no choice. We've got no choice. The Calafiori one's so frustrating though, because that was at least on what the one thing we could say was like, okay, well, we've got Calafiori, we've got Gabriel, we've got Ben White. That was kind of the idea. And now we might not even have them, which is just a pain. And obviously, it came out yesterday, Arsenal are not going to appeal Saliba's red. So we are definitely going to be without him. Where's Tomiyasu? Guy is literally the best at being unavailable at the worst time for us. He's injured again. He came on for was it 4 minutes? I think he came on for 4 minutes against Southampton and got injured again. He's not even the best at being unavailable at the worst time. He's the best at just being unavailable. Full stop. At this point, it's poor. Was the atmosphere really that bad inside the stadium? Felt really off watching TV? Yeah, the atmosphere was bad, which I said it would be. The Champions League and the clubs have just got it all wrong. They've just underestimated. They've overestimated the demand for these games. And the problem is, there just feels like there's no jeopardy on the game. It honestly felt like a Carabao Cup game. Not even a Carabao Cup game. Because it's like if you lose the game, oh, well, we've still got 5 games left. Okay, maybe that means we're not going to get top 8, but there's no consequence to it, really. The stand you can see the most on TV looked pretty empty. Yeah, well, there were loads of tickets on the exchange because of the way the system works now, where season ticket holders can just put their tickets back onto the exchange and get some money for it, and because they're pricing these tickets so highly, like they're pricing these. I paid 54 quid for my ticket yesterday. Because they're doing that, loads of season ticket holders are putting their tickets on the ticket exchange for those games because they're like, I'm not really asked, I'm not really asked about going out on a Tuesday night to watch that game, and I can get decent money back for it. So loads of tickets are going onto the exchange. Not all of them are even being bought up because again, people don't necessarily want to spend that sort of money to get to a game, and so. Yeah, and then you combine that with the fact that there's, the mood isn't great within the fan base at the moment anyway, especially off the back of the Bournemouth defeat. We're not exactly playing scintillating football. So yeah, I said the atmosphere would be bad, and the atmosphere was bad. the big thing for me is what's the atmosphere going to be like on Sunday? The atmosphere on Sunday needs to be monumental. We need to absolutely, there's not a roof on it, but we need to blow the roof off with the atmosphere on Sunday. So we'll see how that goes. But as a neutral, if you go 1-0 up, I just hope you don't park the bus. We probably will. I think if we go 1-0 up against Liverpool, we'll probably play very defensively. Marino was really solid defensively when he came on yesterday. Yeah. I thought Marino was solid. Outside of that, Jesus, I am concerned that Jesus is definitely better off the wing than he is through the middle now. And so it's actually, if you look at our attackers, you've got Trossard, who's better off the wing, Martinelli, who's better off the wing, Saka, who's better off the wing, Sterling, who's better off the wing, now Jesus, who's better off the wing. You got 5 players that are wingers, really, now, and Kai Havertz. And I think that's something that concerns me going forwards. And why I still think we should be in the market for a striker. Did you see Victor Gyökeres once again last night? Unbelievable goal from him. The pace, the power, the finish, the composure. That's what we need. That is what we need. No, there's not going to be a big upstream tonight on Big Up, unfortunately, for the Champions League. There is not, unfortunately. I apologize. Did you see the article claiming Man City are being refereed most harshly? Yeah, one of the dumbest articles I've ever seen. One of the dumbest articles I've ever seen. If you've not seen it, some guy that works for the Standard that probably did a journalism degree at some backwash fucking university was probably in set 3, set 4, just a delinquent. Wrote an article that basically said it took the number of fouls and the number of yellow cards, no other context, and just said the team that gets the least bookings per foul is treated the most leniently. No other context whatsoever. And the numbers he used weren't even the right numbers. So even by his own logic, which was incredibly flawed logic, if he'd actually used the correct set of numbers, Arsenal would still have been 3rd most harshly treated out of the Big 6. So, yeah, don't know who the guy was. The Standard then started blocking people replying to them, so that called them out. So, yeah, it's all it's a damn shame the state of journalism in this country. It is an absolute shame how bad journalism is in this country, to the point where professional journalists are worse than content creators that are doing it for fun. Genuinely worse. It's a shambles. How many journos have on... Well, who knows if he's on City's payroll or whatever. It's also, how can we wind up Arsenal fans today? You mean set 5? Set 2 wasn't so bad? I don't know. My school only went down to set 4. So if you were at a big school that had 8 sets, then yeah, you're talking set 7, set 8. This is not the fogging of standards, guys. Rory, what are your thoughts on Miles Lewis-Skelly so far this season? Very good, very good. The reality is, if we need to pick a left back because Calafiori's out and it's between Miles Lewis-Skelly, Zinchenko, and Kivior against Liverpool, I would pick Miles Lewis-Skelly, flat out. I think he's best equipped to deal with Mohamed Salah. I think he's the most comfortable on the ball. He would be mine. He would be mine. We haven't lost a game in years. Referees didn't allow us to play Champions League despite not losing against Bayern. What? I'm not sure I understand that one, Millen. Needs to sort out the earring, though. I'm pretty sure you are normally allowed to wear an earring. I'm fairly sure you are normally allowed to just tape up an earring rather than having to take it out. But someone wants to look at the Barca Bayern teams. Yeah, we can do that, actually. We will look at the Barca Bayern teams. Nid, thank you very, very much for the 100 rupees. Remembering the City goal, I agree with Gary. If Wolves scored like that, it would be ruled out for sure. Also, love Miles Lewis-Skelly. Nid, I really do appreciate that, and I agree. And by the way, the fact that the FA are already now coming out to basically try and punish Gary O'Neill for suggesting that Man City are refereed differently It's what is this dictatorship? What? Sorry, is this the English Premier League or the North Korean Premier League? The fact that a manager can't even dare to suggest that there might, and he gives a reasonable excuse in terms of, City being a big team that people expect to win and subconscious bias. So he's not saying that these referees are corrupt or that they're intentionally biased, but is there a subconscious bias there based on these decisions? And now the FA are probably going to punish him for saying it. Absolute shambolic organisation. They really are. Anyway, Brest equalised against Leverkusen. Mate, Brest are doing unbelievably. Look at this. That'd be 2 wins and a draw for Brest if they can draw this. Same for Bayer Leverkusen, to be fair. Quite a few of us now going to be on 7 points. It's only Benfica, Liverpool. It's only Benfica and Liverpool then, yeah, that could end up on 9 points with Aston Villa by the end of the evening. I like Brest. I love Brest. Go on the Brest. Everyone loves Brest. So yeah, that's that game. That is interesting. Florian Wirtz put them ahead. These are the Barca Bayern lineups. So you've got Pena, Koundé, Kubasi, Martinez, and Balde, Pedri, Casado, Yamal, Lopez, Rafinha, and Lewandowski. I'm going to be completely honest here because I've really not watched much La Liga at all this season. Martinez, I know very little about. Casado, I know very little about. Pena, I know very little about. Lopez, I know very little about. Are these all just like academy players, basically? I know Kubasi, and I know he is an academy player. Are the rest of them as well? Anyway, the Bayern team, Neuer in goal, Guerrero right back, Upamecano, Kim Min-jae, and Alphonso Davies, Palinha and Kimmich, Elise, Thomas Muller, Serge Gnabry, and Harry Kane. Interesting again. So, Thomas Muller starting ahead of Jamal Musiala is interesting. I mean, you look at some of those players on the bench for Bayern. You've got Sane, Coman, Musiala, Ibrahimovic. No, not the real one. But yeah, it's whereas you look at look at the Barca bench. I mean, they do actually have some decent players on the bench. Why are they not playing? Are they just like? Are they injury doubts? Like Dani Olmo and Gavi. Are they just injury doubts then? Anyway, that's the lineups. Let's have a look at the Liverpool lineup. Obviously, we're playing against Liverpool. Have they gone? So they've got Kelleher, Trent, Konate, Van Dijk, Tsimikas, McAllister, Gravenberch, Salah, Szoboszlai, Gakpo, and Nunez. So they have gone full strength. Now, I would never wish injury. I would never wish injury upon a player, but we will keep an eye out for any potential injuries for Liverpool tonight because obviously that would affect the game that we play against them. No Diogo Jota. He has a rib injury, and we don't know if he's going to be available for the Arsenal game. So there you go. Diraj, thank you very, very much for the 400 rupees super sticker. No message with it, just a super sticker, just some sensational support from Diraj. I really do appreciate that. Thank you very much. Jota's got a rib injury, so he's not on the bench. And Matt, thank you very much for the 199 super chat. Says going to the game on Sunday. Can't wait. Rep Angel. I will be there. I will. Well, I need to get a ticket first, actually. I think getting a ticket for the Liverpool game is going to be slightly harder than it was to get a ticket for last night's game. I will be there. I will be there. I am buzzing for it. And thank you very, very much for the 199 super chat as well. I do appreciate that. Brilliant. If Kelleher got injured, never wish it upon him. But Jaros is absolute pony, and Raya could score from his own box against him. Yeah, I've got no idea who that Jaros guy is, to be fair. But I mean, they'd be very unlucky to lose Kelleher. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I like the I like the Leipzig team, to be fair. Galaxy in goal, Henriks, Orban, Lukeba, Geertruida, Vermeeren, Haidara, Nusa. Nusa's got a lot of people talking. Sheshko, Simons, and Openda. It's a nice team, you know. They could do some damage. Look, Liverpool have got a much trickier tie. They're away in Germany a day after we played. So we've at least got that. If Leipzig win that, will give Arsenal confidence. Yeah, it would do, to be fair. It would do. It'll be interesting to see how that game goes. Liverpool have yet to play a good side. Facts. Tonight's the night. I think Chelsea was a decent test for them, which they passed. Don't get me wrong. Not the hardest game, but it was a decent test, and they did it. But yeah, I was looking at this from yesterday, right? Especially first half. I mean, look at the difference, by the way, between first half and second half on here. Like, I'm not saying that was purely on losing Ben White and moving Partey to right back, but that's a significant difference. But the main thing was, like, they scored. They had their only shot on target was this. This was their only shot on target from 30 yards. Okay, it forced a good save out of David Raya, but we conceded no big chances. Most of the shots they had were nothing shots. They went miles wide, miles over. They really didn't cause us any problems. They really didn't. All of our CL group games are going to be on Amazon Prime. I've had to miss the last. Are all of our CL group games going to be on Amazon Prime? I've had to miss the last 2. I don't know. I actually don't know. To be honest, I've got Amazon Prime anyway, so I hadn't really thought about it. But yeah, I don't know. Liverpool just scraped over the line against Crystal Palace. Yeah, but we just scraped over the line against Leicester and against Southampton. Why are they even on Prime? Prime won one of the packages. They're on TNT Sports as well. I'd be surprised if they were on both. Are they on both at the same time? That would be surprising. Thoughts on Wilshere to Norwich, and is there any potential replacements? He's already been replaced. Jack Wilshere's already been replaced. Let me just find his name, because they did a thing about it earlier. I think it's good for Wilshere. It's a step up. Yeah, Adam Birchall takes over as head of the under-18s. Adam, who played a key role in the development of our under-18s since joining the academy coaching staff over 2 years ago, will step up from his role as under-18s assistant coach with immediate effect. An experienced youth coach, Adam's long association with the club dates back to his days as a scholar in our academy in 2001-2, when he played alongside, among others, Justin Hoyt and Sebastian Larsson. He went on to enjoy a respected playing career before rejoining Arsenal in 2016 as under-18s assistant coach. So he's been the under-18s assistant coach for 8 years, and he's stepping up. So it's someone from within the club. Did you see Ozil's new tattoo? No, I didn't. Prime has TNT Discovery, so both have the rights to stream the UCL. Oh, okay. Fair enough. Some reports about Max Dowman related to Wilshere leaving, but I think that's probably BS. Yeah, there was some things about Max Dowman and other academy players not being happy that Wilshere was leaving, or that the club hadn't tried hard enough to keep Wilshere. What can you do? Like, the reality, as much, and look, he's a 14-year-old kid, right? So not going to hate on him, but also a 14-year-old. As a 14-year-old, I probably used to just get annoyed about things without really thinking about them. Jack Wilshere wants to progress as a coach. He's taking up effectively the assistant manager job at Norwich. That is a big, big step up. To go from under-18s to a proper first-team coach at a championship side, and a championship side that at some point in the next couple of years could very well end up back in the Premier League. That's a very big step up for Wilshere. Now, could Arsenal provide that path for him? Because he doesn't want to, his career would not progress if he stayed with the under-18s. So could Arsenal help progress his career? Not unless he became the first-team assistant, which he's not going to do at Arsenal yet, because he doesn't have the experience. So it's a move that had to happen. And I think Norwich is a good one for him. Now, at some point in the future, Jack Wilshere very may well come back. But yeah, this is one of those things that you really, really can't avoid, unfortunately. In the same way that the only reason we've got Arteta is because he would never have become coach of Man City, right? Bermuda Guna, thank you very, very much for the $2 super chat. Arteta needs to play Nwaneri for creativity. I don't disagree. I do agree. Yeah, look, I think the Nwaneri thing is it's becoming a bigger issue than it needs to be, is what I would say. And I think, I saw a clip from before yesterday's game. Arteta was interviewed by TNT or Prime or whoever it was. And they asked him if Nwaneri was going to start. And he said maybe, he suggested that maybe Nwaneri could be in with a chance, whatever. And then obviously he doesn't even come off the bench. And I don't think it's that important, right? I do think we need more creativity. I do think he could genuinely start games and help us. But I'm not in the boat of people that are like, if he can't play when Odegaard's injured, he needs to leave to get game time. Like, the kid's 17. So I think some people need to relax. But I think Arteta, by not giving him any starts or any significant minutes off the bench, I feel like Arteta's creating a bigger conversation around it than needs to be. I think he could have started Nwaneri last night ahead of Trossard. I don't think it would have affected the outcome of the game. And if Nwaneri had a really good game, that's beneficial for everyone. If Nwaneri didn't have a good game, then Arteta would be well within his rights, and he wouldn't even say it publicly. But we would have witnessed Nwaneri start a game and not play very well, and that would have eased all of the people saying, Nwaneri has to start, Nwaneri has to start. So, yeah, I feel like Arteta could manage the situation better. He's obviously got his reasons for not wanting to start Nwaneri, and I respect whatever those reasons are. When you look at the fact is, you look at the meltdown that there was on social media last night after a win. I kind of don't blame Arteta for wanting to protect Nwaneri from our own fans for as long as possible until he's ready. But there we go. Ian, thank you very, very much. You've been a member for 5 months. Unbelievable. Are you concerned about the Liverpool match? Sorry if this was already answered. Yeah, well, I kind of answered already. But I'm very concerned if we don't have Saka. For me, a massive amount of this game depends on Bukayo Saka. I don't think Robertson or Tsimikas are great anymore. So yeah, if we don't have Saka, I'm worried. I'd be very, very surprised if we could beat them without Saka. If we do have Saka, we've got a chance. One thing I would say, though, is I'm not worried that our performance on Sunday is going to be like our performance last night, because that's just not what we do. That's not what we've done over the last 18 months. Every single big game, the team has really kind of stepped up to, in the Premier League at least. So, can see some players going to Norwich on loan moving forward if they remain in the Championship. Yeah, very possibly. It's a good connection to have there. Only way we win without Saka is a 10-man behind the ball and we go for a set-piece goal. Yeah, but even then, you haven't got Saka taking the bloody corners from one side. I know Trossard tried an in-swinger with his left foot yesterday, which, to be fair, wasn't bad, and it's pretty bloody impressive. But no, it does. That's the big concern for me. That's the big concern for me. But we'll wait and see. Anyway, it is now time for Guess the Goal Scorer. I'm going to give you all of the information about an Arsenal goal, and you have to name me the goal scorer and the team that they scored the goal against. First person to get it right in the chat wins the immense pride and respect of the RoryTalksFootball community. So get your fingers on your keyboards, because we're starting now. This goal was scored with the left foot. It was assisted by Nicola Pepe. It was scored in the 67th minute. The 67th minute. It was scored at Wembley. In a 2-1 win. In August 2020. So there you go. A left-footed goal assisted by Nicola Pepe in the 67th minute at Wembley in a 2-1 win in August 2020. Who was it? There were lots of answers there. But who was the first person to get it correct? It was Oslo Gunnar. It was Oslo Gunnar. It was indeed Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang against Chelsea in the FA Cup final. TB was second. Damari was third. Ryan Henderson was fourth. Sportcat was fifth. And that's all she wrote. So congratulations. Congratulations to Oslo Gunnar. Remember watching that game on holiday? Take me back. Same. Although the whole COVID football era, sometimes I see goals back, Arsenal goals. I see entire Arsenal like highlights back from that period, and I'm like, I literally just don't remember it. And the thing was, I was definitely watching the games because I had fucking nothing else to do. Obviously, I remember the FA Cup final. Don't get me wrong, in the semi-final, but yeah, I just look back at that time. I'm like, I just don't remember it. Emil thinks he was first. No. Emil, you never even got the right answer. Emil, you said Saka versus Liverpool, Saka versus United, Alba versus Newcastle, and Alba City. You've literally at no point in the chat, Emil, have you put Alba versus Chelsea. So I don't know what to say. You put Alba versus City before anyone said Alba versus Chelsea, but the goal was against Chelsea. So I'm sorry. On holiday in COVID summer, where'd you go? Your back garden. Talking to Carter. Came in late but got the win. My first win. Oslo Gunnar, you'll love to see it. You'll love to see it. Anyway, it is now time for Guess the Non-Gunnar. I'm going to give you the entire career path of a player who does not and has not played for Arsenal, and you have to guess who that player is in the chat. First person to get it right wins the immense pride and respect of the RoryTalksFootball community, but not as much respect as Oslo Gunnar currently has. This player started their career at Newell's. This is a tricky one, by the way. They started their career at Newell's. They moved to Real Valladolid. They went on loan to Sporting Lisbon. They then moved permanently to PSG. They moved from PSG to Manchester United. They moved from Manchester United to Real Madrid. They moved from Real Madrid to Marseille. They moved from Marseille to AS Roma. And they went from Roma back to Newell's. And they have since retired. So Newell's, Real Valladolid, Sporting Lisbon on loan, PSG permanently, Manchester United, Real Madrid, Marseille, Roma, and back to Newell's. And the winner was Ryan Henderson. It was Ryan Henderson. It was indeed Gabriel Heinz-Beans. Congratulations. It was Heinz. Oslo Gunnar was second. A 1-2 for Oslo Gunnar. Third was Ross Lawman. Fourth was Sportcat. And fifth was Oslo Gunnar. Oh, no. Already said Oslo Gunnar. Lemon Fear. Emil said, oh, fuck, I'm sick with a high fever. I thought the answer was Alba versus City. My bad. Emil, no problem. No problem. I don't blame you for questioning me. You know what? I can't sit here and pretend that I don't get things wrong. But yeah, there you go. There you go. Congratulations to Ryan Henderson. Congratulations to Oslo Gunnar. And that is going to be it. Look, we'll be live on Twitch tonight. I'm going to do the icon pack. There's a new icon pack. So we're going to do that. Also, downloaded Black Ops 6 today. We're going to start the campaign walkthrough for that at the weekend as well. But yeah, so Twitch link is down in the description for that. And then tomorrow, we're live an hour early tomorrow. We are live. I just realized this overlay is wrong today. I forgot to put the new one up. That's wrong. Tomorrow, 5:30 instead of 6:30. So we are an hour early. I apologize if that means some people can't make it, but I've got something to do in the evening. So yeah, other than that, I hope you all have a fantastic evening. Subscribe if you're not already. Click the like button as you're heading out. And I will catch you all tonight or tomorrow. Goodbye.